This is Trisha from Remax Real Estate with the marketing department with this week's marketing tip. We can trace word-of-mouth marketing all the way back to 2000 BC when Eve said to Adam, "You ought to try a bite of this apple." The Garden of Eden scenario represents marketing in its purest form. After all, trusted friends always trust each other's recommendations. Since then, marketing has embarked on quite a journey, of course. The invention of the printing press opened the door to mass marketing, which eventually came to use newspapers and magazines as primary promotional vehicles. The subsequent creation of the radio and television opened it up yet another world for marketers, now able to promote their messages to a vastly increased audience. Over the years, marketing has centered around the idea of pushing people to do something. Try a new brand of soda, shop at a particular store, see the blockbuster debuting in theaters this weekend. The element that has been left out of the marketing equation for years, however, is the feeling aspect, the relationship aspect. In today's information overloaded culture, people are frantically trying to get away from the traditional noise of marketing. Think DVRing your favorite television shows so that you can avoid the commercials. Think getting your news via CNN updates on your phone as opposed to reading the newspaper. We want what we want when we want it. We certainly don't want Madison Avenue telling us what we want. That's why marketing in the new world must center on relationships, and it must involve relevant content in order to build those relationships. People with good information are recognized as trustworthy and credible. As Gary Vaynerchuk put it, if content is king, context of relationship is a higher power still. Context is about making sure we first care about our customers and clients, long before we ever try to sell them something. Today, agents and companies in general need to be much more focused on the humanization of business. Ironically, our grandparents' generation understood this. They knew their friends and neighbors, knew what they liked and didn't like. They took the time to develop relationships and applied this knowledge to their businesses. The Walt Disney Company is a wonderful example of a caring company. Disney does not have a customer service department, they have a care and thank you department. Disney does not hire people based on their skills. They hire people based on the fact that they have a caring attitude. The firms believe that they can teach any employee the skills to be successful, as long as they are caring people to begin with. Last fall, George Dunstan, president G. Dunstan Seminars Inc., was booked on a flight from Chicago to Dallas, only to be told by the airline that the flight was going to be delayed, and he should stay in the area. After a 4-hour wait until after midnight, he was told the flight was canceled and he would have to rebook a flight for the next day. With no explanation or apology given, the airline agent walked away and he was left to fend for himself, along with 100 other frustrated and angry passengers. As someone who has flown over 1 million miles with this particular airline, it would have been nice for him to receive an email the next morning with an apology for the inconvenience and an explanation for the delay, such as concern for your safety, etc. But that email did not arrive. How much would it have cost the company to say, "I'm sorry and I care," in an attempt to turn this lemon into lemonade? It's quite obvious that a caring attitude was not the focus of the airline. Compare that experience to the one Dunstan's friend and colleague Mark Given had while visiting Disney World with his family. After watching his 4-year-old grandson drop his ice cream cone and begin to cry, Mark was amazed to see a very young Disney employee come up to his grandson, go down on one knee and tell him not to cry, that Disney World is the happiest place on earth. The employee that then cleaned the boy up and presented him with a new cone. This 17-year-old employee working a summer job remedied the situation on the spot without even asking his supervisor. The above two examples of corporate caring are not simply feel-good, or in Dunstan's case, feel-bad stories. These experiences are directly connected to business success, or the lack thereof. Will Mark go back to Disney World and recommend it to countless others? Without a doubt. Will Dunstan and his 100 other fellow passengers fly the airline again? Maybe, but not nearly as often, or maybe not at all. His perception is that caring is saleable. It is not a fad. People and companies will soon start battling on the likability and care in a revolution. And where will the battle take place for the most part? On social media turf. The stage is already set. Facebook has a like button. YouTube, LinkedIn, and Foursquare have added functionality that allows users to express their approval of content. Twitter has a favorite button that allows users to approve different tweets, not to mention consumer critiquing sites such as Yelp. With so much competition today, companies that adapt and make sure their agents stay engaged and committed to giving their customers and clients the greatest possible real estate experience, the greatest possible overall care, will be the winners in the second half of this decade. So it's time to click your own like button and start building caring and trust in the services you provide. As Dr. Seuss said, sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. This is Trisha from Remax Real Estate. Have a great week.